Greetings. Today's significant developments are occurring in world politics and regional security issues. The tragic fate of innocent children in Gaza, new diplomatic relations between Syria and the U.S., tensions on the Pakistan-Afghanistan border, and Trump's statement regarding Ukraine. These are the important news items on the global agenda. As usual, we will focus on these topics in detail.
Innocent victims of the cruel war. Gaza has become the region with the most disabled children in the world. It is reported that nearly 5,000 people have had their limbs amputated during the two-year war in the sector. Citing a statement from the Palestinian Ministry of Health, Anadolu reports that more than 5,000 people have had their legs or arms amputated in Gaza during Israel's two-year attacks, which began in October 2023. This shows that Gaza is the place with the highest recorded cases of amputation among children in the world. A special fund has been established to rehabilitate disabled children and injured citizens, and an international charity campaign is planned to be launched in the coming days. Due to Israeli attacks, the healthcare system in Gaza has completely collapsed. The sharp increase in the number of injuries has also led to the collapse of the rehabilitation system. According to estimates, by September 2025, more than 170,690 people in Gaza have been injured. At least a quarter of them are in need of long-term rehabilitation. The ministry's statement noted that 69,176 people have been killed in the sector since October 2023. Even after the ceasefire between Israel and the Palestinian group Hamas came into force, the Jewish state has not stopped its attacks. According to the latest data, since the ceasefire, 241 people have been killed, 619 people have been injured, and the bodies of 528 people have been found under the rubble. U.S. President Donald Trump met with Syria's interim president, Ahmad al-Shara, at the White House on November 10th. On the same day, the information minister of the Syrian transitional government, Hamza Mustafa, wrote on the social network X that Damascus had joined the U.S.-led international coalition, namely the coalition to fight the terrorist group ISIS, thereby emphasizing its partnership role in supporting the fight against terrorism and regional stability. After the meeting, Trump called the Syrian leader a strong leader. In Trump's opinion, al-Shara can turn Syria into a very successful state. The U.S. State Department also reported that it has extended the sanctions waiver period for Syria by another 180 days. Furthermore, Trump stated that he had previously liked and supported al-Shara. As is known, for several years the ISIS movement has been carrying out numerous subversive and terrorist activities in Syria and neighboring countries. In 2014, ISIS terrorists captured large territories in Syria and neighboring Iraq. Today, it is considered militarily defeated, but it has been reported that approximately 2,500 militants may still be hiding in Iraq and Syria, organizing terrorist attacks. Ahmad al-Shara, who overthrew the then-President Bashar al-Assad at the end of 2024, was known as Abu Muhammad al-Jolani during his previous activities. Under this name, he began fighting against the forces of the U.S.-led International Anti-Terrorism Coalition in 2003. In 2006, he was captured by American forces and spent 5 years in Iraqi prisons. After his release in 2011, al-Shara founded and led Jabhat al-Nusra, the Syrian branch of al-Qaeda. In 2017, Jabhat al-Nusra was reorganized under the name Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. The main goal of the new structure was to overthrow Assad. During his visit to the U.S., Syrian President Ahmad al-Shara also spoke about the September 11th attacks. "I was only 19 years old, very young. I had no authority to make decisions at that time. Al-Qaeda was not active in my region then. Therefore, you are talking to the wrong person on this topic. We mourn every civilian who has died and know that people are suffering because of the war, said the Syrian leader during his visit to the U.S. After the fall of the Assad regime, major changes have occurred in Syria's foreign policy. Specifically, the country is abandoning its close alliance with Russia and Iran and moving closer to the West and Arab states. Last week, it was reported that the U.S. military was preparing to establish its base at a military airfield in Damascus for the first time. Officials stated that the exact location of the base has not been disclosed for security reasons.
So, it's easy to say, oh, don't worry about the world, but the world is turning out to be our biggest customer. The world was on fire, and we could have been in that fire very easily if you didn't have a president that knew what he was doing.
Trump said the situation around Ukraine no longer poses a threat of world war. If I weren't president, this war could have led to a third world war. Now it won't be like that. The world would be engulfed in flames. If we had a president who knew what he was doing, the U.S. could have very easily fallen into this flame, he said at a White House event. Questions about when this war will end have been voiced even more in recent months. Russia has announced that it wants the war in Ukraine to end sooner, but that peace negotiations are currently stalled. Kremlin Press Secretary Dmitry Peskov, while saying this to journalists on November 10th, responded to the recent statement by U.S. President Donald Trump. Last week, during a meeting with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, Trump had said, "I think the war will end soon." According to Peskov, Russia favors ending the war through political and diplomatic means. Of course, we want this conflict to end as soon as possible. The war will end when Russia achieves the goals it has set for itself. But right now, the process is stalled. We are not responsible for this, Peskov said, criticizing Ukraine's position. According to him, peace negotiations have stalled because of the Ukrainian side. Ukraine is under pressure from European countries. Europeans think Ukraine can protect its interests through war. This is a big mistake, said Peskov. Meanwhile, Ukraine and European countries have been accusing Moscow of obstructing peace initiatives. Face-to-face negotiations between Russia and Ukraine have not been held since July 2023. Trump tried to convince Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky to meet, but the Kremlin said such a summit could only take place in Moscow. Zelensky rejected this condition and stated that he does not believe Putin has a desire for peace. On the eve of the 4th anniversary of the war's start, Russia controls approximately 19% of Ukraine's territory. Currently, the country has intensified military operations to capture the cities of Pokrovsk and Kupiansk. Continue to follow the latest important world news on Dario. Don't forget to like the show and leave your opinions in the comments. See you in the next episodes. Goodbye.